thank you to Battery Park City Authority and their kind staff for inviting the Nuyorican Poets Cafe to be here. The Nuyorican Poets Cafe was founded by Puerto Ricans, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Indigenous Caribbeans here in New York. And this event is to commemorate and celebrate the resiliency, the natural beauty and creativity of Puerto Rico and our people. With this incredible monument that is behind us, created by artists Segundo Cardona and Antonio Matorey. A memorial that arose from a vision that one can always transform the sad memory of adverse circumstances into something positive and poetic that can bring solace to all. And that is a quote by the designers themselves. 7 years ago, Hurricane Maria ravaged the beautiful historic island of Puerto Rico, Boriquén. Ravaged. I know that it changed my life. All of my elders were displaced, and they used to gather every night and sit in the hamacas, hammocks, and talked, sang, and laughed every single night for all of my life. I'm 51 years young. And before that, that was a tradition in my family. After Hurricane Maria, that tradition ended. My elders were displaced and eventually killed by the circumstances that came about. Roughly 15% of the population has left Puerto Rico. An estimated 500,000 residents are no longer there, are no longer able to return due to the higher costs of living and tax breaks afforded to the wealthy who have now moved, purchased, and privatized parts of the island. The antiquated power grid is as corrupt as the politics, leaving those on the island in the dark several times a week to this day. I was there just last week for 2 weeks and experienced 5 power outages in that time. If the storm didn't kill them, the lack of resources did. If that didn't kill them, the depression of survival caused countless to commit suicide. Many buried their own families in their backyard. The post-traumatic stress disorder is rampant. Each blackout triggers the memories of the nightmare this hurricane was. Tourism is thriving, but communities once thriving are mere ghost towns with no schools or decent hospitals for the poor. A moment of silence for all those that passed. It truly is my honor to be here. My name is Caridad de la Luz. I'm a poet, better known as La Bruja. I started my career at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe in 1996 and became the executive director in 2022. We resurrected the Nuyorican Poets Cafe from the pandemic, and we have now secured a $24 million restoration renovation project. It will reopen in 2026, but in the meantime, we are so grateful to be able to bring programming throughout the city, doing what we do best, telling truth through spoken word, artistry, and music in community. The artists that I have brought today are dear friends of mine of many decades. Our lifetime. We've been doing this for more than half my life, over half my life. I love them very much. I would like to invite Angel Rodriguez Sr. and Mariposa Fernandez to the stage.
All right. Thank you, Parks Department, folks working the sound, and people that put all this stuff together for us today to be able to do what we do. My name is Angel Ruben Rodriguez Sr. I am from Naranjito, Puerto Rico. I survived Santa Clara, Hurricane Santa Clara, when I was about 3 years old, maybe 2 or 3 years old. And all I remember was that my grandfather dug a giant hole in the ground about 8 feet deep, really wide, and then he built this little shack over it with the zinc, those things, and the poles were down about 8 feet into the ground, and he opened the doors and we went in there and waited for the hurricane to pass, and then after that I became a kid again. That's about all I remember, but I have to say that we're still feeling the effects of Maria. 7 years? It's been 7 years, and again, Caridad, you said I was on the island for 3 weeks, and yeah, I'm with my brother, and 3 times the light went out. We had to turn on, and there's a lot of stuff going on still. So I want to do a couple of things. I want to pick up that check and sing for Yemaya, for the mother of the oceans first, si me permite. And then I'm going to go into a couple of MC lines from an album that I put out, Abrazos Orchestra, Message of Love, 2013. And Inti Celi's my good Colombian MC. He wrote these lyrics for me for the album in one of my tunes. And then I'm going to go into a scene from the Combat Hippies. Now, the Combat Hippies, we're a group of veterans. I'm a Vietnam era veteran, and I work with 2 Iraqi veterans that we decided to, because nobody talks about the 22 veterans that commit suicide every day in this country with guns or drugs, and we started writing workshops with Teo Castellanos, our playwright and great guy, Zen Buddhist. At least he didn't curse at us when he was directing us. And Anthony Torres Jr., MSW, and also a master's in psychology, who was at Abu Ghraib prison during that scandal. Many people, I don't know if you remember that scandal that was going on down there. He went down there as a counselor to counsel our soldiers, but also to counsel the prisoners. And then Hipólito Arriaga, South Bronx, Patterson Projects, across the street from Lincoln Hospital. He did 2 Iraqi tours, one as a stormtrooper, and then the other one as a gunner. Both of these gentlemen were at the end of their, PTSD is real, and it's so. I'm going to go into a scene that we wrote. It took us 3 years to write this place. It's called Amal, A-M-A-L, which means hope in Arabic. And these are true stories that we wrote about. It's a 70-minute piece, and I'm going to read the scene entitled Ave Maria, about Maria the Storm. Okay, so, and I'm going to have, of course, my beautiful friends of many decades, like she said, play some bombasica for this. Okay?
Humbly.
Let me just grab this here.
I'm gonna jam.
Okay. Wait, one.
Oh, you're not gonna do the check at primera? You said you're going to do the check.
You know what?
No.
I just hit 70, right? And I had a card. They gave me a birthday card, and they said on the birthday card, now that I'm 70, ... What was I thinking about? Yeah, you know, the butterflies never stop. And I've been in this business for many years, but I get on stage, and it's like I'm a wreck. This is called a shekere. It's part of the Calabash family, born out of a vine, and is dried in the sun, opened up, taking the seeds out, and is widely used in Orisha worship tradition. It was in Nigeria a woman's instrument. Yemaya olodo awoyo yemaya olodo awoyo yemaya olodo awoyo yemaya olodo awoyo yemaya. Maracatamales con China es un mensaje de amor. Un mensaje de amor in English is message of love. Message of love, always alive, it never lies, no, it never dies. Throughout the song we bring the love to resurrection, breaking the borders, making love to the vibration. Una familia, one love, one nation, one sun, one sound, one creation. Abrazos que está abrazándole este mundo entero, del norte a sur, del oriente hasta el occidente, unificando con canción a Europa, América, Asia, Rusia, Nueva York, el Medio Oriente. Naranjas dulces, mangos y bocadillo son una bendición como la sonrisa de un niño. Hay un aroma de belleza cuando el corazón se derrite y se escapa en el aire la cabeza. Ave Maria, she cried. Nothing looked the same. Within a sunrise and a sunset, everything had changed. The world she knew was turned on its head. No longer did she recognize the streets she grew up running around in like a miniature whirlwind during her childhood. It was impossible to keep her in the house. A woman's place is wherever the hell they want her to be. Her passionate response to her grandmother's best efforts of raising una mujer hecha y derecha. But in that moment, everything was gone. She imagined it was a similar scene to Nagasaki and Hiroshima, when numb people walked around with blank faces, battling to make sense of their lives. But it wasn't there. It was here, home. Once a solid foundation was now shakier than her hands. For 24 hours, they hunkered down, thought the tin roof would cave in on their tiny heads several times throughout the night as they clenched at every loud boom. They took shifts being brave, comforting the rest, praying to the fire-infested skies above. This would not be their future tomb. When all was finally clear, it was obvious. Everything was all but. The roads were littered with wreckage of destroyed dreams. Their neighbors' lives sprawled out like junkies, coffee cans, black and white photographs, trinkets of little worth except for the poor bastards who occupied these hollow grounds were scattered everywhere. The passages are blocked. Bridges lead nowhere. Her nerves were getting the best of her. She had always been strong-willed, but never tested in this way. She wanted to scream, as if it would undo all the wreckage, all the pain, all the fear, as if it would bring back all those gone. She watched as her grief-stricken people began rebuilding some sort of normal out of catastrophe. They They used it as a catalyst to come together. A lost tribe reunited by tragedy. Alone, they struggled to survive. Together, they were rediscovering community. I just met a girl named Maria. In war, we're taught complacency kills. When you're at the will of forces you can't control, learned helplessness becomes a way of life. Homes are fallout shelters as impending doom rolls towards us. The blast radius is everything in the sun touches. The only evident truth being some will live and some will die. Unalienable rights have no say around here. Hate-filled wrecking balls rain down sure to wreak havoc on generations of families. It would take years to sift through these shattered remains of smashed concrete. Entire towns blanketed in dust of destruction. Houses lift from the foundation. Everything in dice shaken like dice. Everything inside shaken like dice. Everything inside shaken like dice. Sidewalks are crowded debris. Power lines become deadly jump ropes slung across city blocks. And Luis, embraced by fear, huddled with his wife and children on the floor of his bathroom, his back against the door, pleading for their lives. Faith was the last line of defense. Others are entombed in makeshift mausoleums. In Aguada, 2 police officers were swept away by floodwaters. Across the street, Doña Rosa is now a caregiver for her bedridden husband. Electricity and love, the only things keeping them alive. We're dying! You're killing us with weapons of inefficiency! There's an eerie calm following the chaos. This momentary reprieve was broken by the sounds of crying children. Believe it or not, these were moments of joy because they signaled life. The aftermath was just the beginning. Chairs, water heaters, and front doors laid in piles where houses used to be. Help was scribbled across caved-in rooftops. Rosaries clutched for medevac, the longest and largest blackout in U.S. history. Over 3 million second-class citizens, poor people without power. Crisis calls doubled. Suicide rates rose 30%. Body bags stacked in the back of a 16-wheeler waiting in purgatory. The government responded with a naval ship called Comfort that paraded itself just close enough to the island for a photo op. Both people and land have been ravaged and devastated. Basic human needs have become major challenges. When does crisis end and recovery begins? Air conditioner was replaced by cardboard fans. Clean water was collected in paint buckets and bleach bottles. Schools became shelters. The hurricane destroyed the local church, so they sang outside. A 90-year-old man is carried out of his home by neighbors and brought to a National Guard rescue boat. When asked how he felt, he replied, "Bien, mijo. Gracias a Dios y la Virgen." Dozens of people huddle at Starbucks storefront. Wi-Fi connection, their only link to the outside world. Luis's wife returned to the bathroom at night to cry, away from the children. His kids will cry at the sound of rain, but he reminded the family, we will keep hope alive. Doña Rosa buried her husband in her backyard. He was dead 3 days. Help never came. She purchased a one-way ticket to Orlando because life goes on. The island of battered beauty, her face distorted, but she will heal. Physically, she is changed, but emotionally, she is stronger. Borinquen vive! Borinquen vive! A mural in Calle spotted after the hurricane. As long as we breathe, esperanza. Esperanza is alive. Borinquen vive. La esperanza no está muerta. La esperanza no está muerta. La esperanza no está muerta. Coro.
Borinquen vive, la esperanza no está muerta.
La esperanza no está muerta. La esperanza no está muerta.
Borinquen vive, la esperanza no está muerta.
Vengo yo una vez más. La esperanza no está muerta.
Borinquen vive, la esperanza no está muerta.
Thank you. running out across the night. Welcome to the light on the moon. Bloodstains on the moon. Rebel forces gather. Babylon falling. Justice must be done. Mother, father, daughter, son. Justice must be done. Oh, your kingdom is coming down. Oh, your kingdom is coming down. Oh, your kingdom is coming down. Oh, hear the truth. Radio must reveal the truth. Judgment Day, listen for the timbre. What a price to pay. 1,000 churches calling. Save my human soul. I pray for mercy, mercy, 'cause justice will unfold. Oh, your kingdom is coming down. Oh, your kingdom is coming down. Holy war down. Preacher man, lead the people through a TV cam. War on drugs and war on crime make us cry. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why? It's so sad. World's gone mad. All the line and the end of time. Homeless children, welfare line, politicians, heads of states on social climb. Planes keep bombing from the sky and makes us cry. Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why? Free eye, oh, free eye. Free all the brothers and sisters willing to try. Free eye, oh, free eye. Free all the brothers and sisters willing to die. I said pale horse coming with a rider. I said pale horse coming with a rider. I said black horse coming with it. They're coming tonight. It's everywhere I go. This whole darn world is in front of me. It's coming down. And I don't feel like crying anymore. Oh, free eye. Oh, free eye. Free all the brothers and sisters willing to try. Free eye. Oh, free eye. Free all the brothers and sisters willing to die. I said pale horse coming with a rider. I said pale horse coming with a rider. I said black horse coming with it. They're coming tonight. It's everywhere I go. This whole darn world is coming down in front of me, and I don't feel like crying anymore. Ooh yele, ooh yele. Ooh yele, ooh yele.
Uyele, uyele.
Ooh yele, ooh yele. Keep it there.
Uyele, uyele. huyele.
A los que no son tu hermano,
Huyele, huyele.
alcohol y droga que no sirven.
Huyele, huyele.
Oye, la droga te está matando.
Huyele, huyele.
La tormenta que ya viene.
Huyele, huyele.
Mira la bomba que ellos tienen.
Huyele, huyele.
A ese choque policiaco.
Huyele, huyele.
Al gobierno americano.
Huyele, huyele.
Huyele, huyele.
Huyele, huyele.
Huyele, huyele. Temporal. Ahora viene temporal. Cuando venga el temporal, ¿qué será de Puerto Rico? Cuando llegue el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? Cuando viene el temporal. ¿Qué será de Puerto Rico? Cuando viene este coro.
Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal.
¿Qué será de mi borinque? Cuando llegue el temporal. ¿Qué será de mi borinque? Cuando llegue el temporal.
Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal.
Pueblo estará presente cuando llegue temporal. Pueblo estará presente cuando llegue temporal.
Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal.
Pueblo estará presente cuando llegue temporal. Pueblo estará presente cuando llegue temporal.
Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal. Temporal, temporal. Allá viene el temporal.
I feel a numb pulse aquí en los tiempos de María. In the eyes of some of the children, some vacant, some filled with fire and rage. Still, my soul breathes a sigh of relief to feel my own feet on the ground, to see the sky as Caribbean forever blue as it ever was, and at night with a million stars. Skies free of Sahara dust and clear. I want to touch every rock, every leaf, hug every tree. I want to sing to my ancestors and give thanks. Touch my third eye to the ground, and I do. Still, hay que luchar, y la lucha es nuestra. Still, like the Rev said, there was never no tomorrow. There was only just today, aquí en los tiempos de María. With the words of a young poet in a high school in Toa Baja will forever haunt me. He said, I want to run far away from here, as fast as I can, as far as I can, away from the death and the corruption, the destruction y mala noticia. A fugar de este infierno. Aquí en Miramar, where la viejita in the elevator said to me que estaba muy maldita. Aquí en el barrio Bucarabones en Las Marías, where Victor shows me the food and water from la diáspora, from el maestro, Centro Cultural y Gimnasio de Boxeo on Southern Boulevard in the South Bronx. From the shipping container we helped to load, mano a mano, Ponce, EP, Camilo, Kathy, y Raúl, Maribel, y Graciano, Charlotte La Roja, and my brother, and so many others. con los mayores de Casabe, con vecinos y vecinas. Aquí en Bucarabones, I can see our love can reach mountaintops. Aquí en Vieque, where Ana Elisa is teaching the people agricultura. Aquí en Vieque, where Aura puts organic mud on my face, reminding me in crisis we must keep on loving ourselves, Mariposa. Aquí, where holistic healing troubadours are offering salud y resistencia, giving acupuncture, massage, and Reiki to the people, offering ways to heal from the trauma. Aquí, en La Marqueta, aquí in all the spaces where poetry cries out to the world. En cada rincón de la diáspora, from Nueva York to Chicago to the Twin Cities, to the Bay, and back to Borinquen. Aquí en el barrio where Esperanza offers Los Mayores meditation workshops, where we form healing circles, cry, scream, shake, laugh, hold each other steady, and repeat Asada's chant. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Aquí, en las escuelas públicas, where Mayra gives out notebooks, says to the youth, we are going to write our Maria stories, and reads the children's poems so they can hear their own voices and break the silences. Aquí, mano a mano, hay que seguir pa'lante. Aquí no se puede perder la fe. A no tener fe es una forma de perderse. Aquí hay que luchar, punto final. Y la lucha es nuestra. Aquí, like the Rev said, there was never no tomorrow. There was only just today. Aquí, en los tiempos de María. Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Mariposa. Give it up for Angel Rodriguez, Angel.
Gracias a todos, gracias.
And give it up for our good witch, La Bruja, Caridad de la Luz. It's such an honor to be here. I just want to thank all my family and friends for coming. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. It means a lot for those of us that, y somos familia todos. It's so good to see. It's so good to see my poets, my CUNY grads in the house. Any CUNY grads in the house? All right, yes. CUNY students, let's give it up. Give it up. Yay. All right. I am going to dedicate this poem, and, like Caridad said, that, Hurricane Maria changed our lives forever. And it displaced my entire family on my mother's side from Fajardo. The remaining relatives that we are, incomunicado, that we're not lost. I'm a second generation Puerto Rican. My grandparents came on the Guamo in a ship and landed here in this harbor, arrived here in this harbor in 1930. In 1930 and 1931. And both my parents were born here, but all of my tios and tias were born in Puerto Rico. My parents were the only of their siblings to be born here. And my whole family, after Maria, was displaced from Fajardo and Ceiba, and the majority are now living in Schenectady, a place that they cannot pronounce, or they choose not to be bothered with the pronunciation of Schenectady. So to them, it's Nueva York. Nueva York. Okay, that's another poem for another day. But it's just the irony. I can taste it. I can taste the irony. And this poem, and pardon me, estoy ronca, okay? So if my voice cracks, it's my commitment to break the silence that you're hearing. And you are hearing the cracklings of love. okay? Jamming from the depths of my vocal cords, okay? It's an occupational hazard. I am a professor. It is what it is. But I'm here, presente. So I want to hear, if you're here, presente conmigo, let me hear you say presente. Uno, dos, tres.
Presente.
Para Puerto Rico estamos.
Presente.
All right, vaya. That felt good. Okay, this is called Tears of the Tigers for my tío, who told me the story and who sang the song to me. The coro, this song is actually from a song composed by a Cuban composer named Panchito Risset. And there's a long, long history of solidarity between Puerto Rico and Cuba. And Marintaya was actually another ship that arrived here in New York Harbor sometime around the late 40s after World War II. The SS Marine Tiger was a U.S. naval warship during World War II, and after that it was retired and used as a major transport for Puerto Ricans. And when they arrived here, they were called Marintayas in a derogatory manner. It was like a slur by the previous arrivals, Puerto Ricans and other Latinos that had arrived. So it's about the stigma. The song was written, Panchito Risset wrote the song out of his compassion and solidarity with those immigrants. And it's dedicated to those that were displaced in the centuries after the 40s and all the waves of displacements. And I just want to also note that my grandparents were displaced from Puerto Rico after another hurricane, San Felipe II, in 1928, which devastated Puerto Rico. It was just as devastating as Hurricane Maria. And it's also the same famous hurricane that Zora Neale Hurston writes about in Their Eyes Were Watching God. So this is called Tears of the Tigers. And if you know the coro, you could join me. I'd hear the song again and again in my mind, haunting, sad, like the cold winds of change blowing, reminding me that we are in the dead of winter, the ground frozen, our past buried. But I'd hear the song and it would remind me of those who arrived, of our past buried. But I'd hear the song again and again, and it would remind me to write the poem, which I kept forgetting to write. The poem I knew I must write before the spirit of song escaped my memory, before I'd forget its melancholy story. I'd hear the song again and again, haunting me, reminding me of the past, buried deep within the ice-cold earth, but living, like the seed lives to birth itself in the spring, like the caterpillar lives in the cocoon, to one day manifest glorious butterfly wings. But it is deep pain that I feel, as Theo sings, of a cold story deep-seated in shame, alive in the vital mind of El Viejito Negrito, each chord coded in pain. Marintaya, Marintaya, mis hermanos me llaman así. The dark story of the many thousands who came. Me ven pobre, looking for dreams but finding misery. Me ven triste. They were told they would find streets of gold but found only the cold and poverty. Y toditos se ríen de mí. Looking for sense of brotherhood and home, but instead they were greeted by the cruel laughter of los que llevan muchos años aquí. Y toditos se ríen de mí. Looking for brotherhood but finding cold stares on barrio corners where they stood, having already made the frightening trip from the waterfront downtown, up from the harbor, up from Puerto Rico to old Nueva York streets they came. They came every 14 days, Theo said. Like cattle they came. All year round they came. And in winter they wore nothing but worn guayaberas, thin shawls, Panama hats, and white shoes. They came young and old like lost flocks of birds to shiver in the cold on cold barrio corners where the children of the unfeeling Puerto Ricans, the assimilated, the established, threw rocks and called them names. Jibaro, Marintaya, oye, Marintaya. The tears of the tigers are now frozen like their homes, like their bones in St. Raymond's Cemetery in the Bronx or Calvary in Queens, where graves were offered cheap to the lost children of La Isla Borinquen. The tears of the tigers still fall, like the lost falling aguaceros of lost dreams, like the lost story of our forced, tragic exodus, lost like their names, lost to amnesia, the amnesia of shame. Marintaya, Marintaya, mis hermanos me llaman así. Me ven pobre, me ven triste y toditos se ríen de mí. No me importa que me llaman así. Puerto Rico no tiene bandera. Ay, bendito, ¿qué será de mí? Puerto Rico no tiene bandera. Ay, Borinquen, ¿qué será de ti? Ay, Borinquen, ¿qué será de ti? Ay, Borinquen, ¿qué será de ti? Ay, Borinquen, mi Borinquen. Ay, Borinquen, mi Borinquen. Ay, Borinquen, mi Borinquen. Eres parte de mí. Ay, Borinquen, mi Borinquen. Donde nació el coquí. Ay, Borinquen, mi Borinquen, mi Borinquen, mi Borinquen. Gracias.
How about a big hand for Mariposa? Maria Mariposa Fernandez. One of our greatest.
Gracias.
And you know, Nuyorican Poets Cafe, folks. Yeah, you know, a landmark here in New York City for us Boricuas, and I'm so proud of y'all. You know, I've seen y'all grow so many decades and so many, and you never stop, and you just like two Mack trucks, like freight trains, you know. And let's give it up to our women, because these are our women.
Yes.
In every fight that we ever had, the women was always in the forefront. But see, we don't. This patriarchal society, we don't talk about that enough. And I want to praise these two women right here.
Thank you. Yes, and
Power.
we are in our fabulous 50s. That's right, and we're still flying, okay, and fighting, luchando, okay.
And now, with you, right? I guess.
Should I do?
You got one more? Okay.
Okay, just a short one, and then Ocho Diasporican. This is Verses in the Wind. Verses in the Wind, número 3. When we die, let us leave more than these verses in the wind. Say our breath before it is vapor forgotten. That we left something in the breeze, something in the sunlight, something in the moonlight, that we eased someone else's sorrow. When our skin blows away and our bones are one with the red clay of our homeland, please say we did something more than write and utter words. And this is my last piece for today. How many people, how many diasporicans in the house, if you were born here, okay? All right? How many people were born in Puerto Rico? Yo, you came as a baby. You came in the belly. How many came in the belly? How many came in? How many?
6 months.
Oh, 6 months. Okay. So if you were conceived in Puerto Rico, you were conceived, okay? Like, raise your hand if you were. Okay. And if you identify with the words Puerto Rico nació en mí, okay, raise your hand. Puerto Rico nació en mí. Okay. So this is to all of you. Mira mi cara puertorriqueña, a mi pelo vivo, a mis manos morenas. Mira mi corazón que se llena de orgullo y dime que no soy boricua. Some people say that I'm not the real thing, boricua that is, because I wasn't born on the enchanted island, because I was born on the mainland north of Spanish Harlem, because I was born in the Bronx. Some people think that I'm not bona fide because my playground was a concrete jungle, because my Rio Grande de Loíza was the Bronx River, because my Fajardo was City Island, my Luquillo, Orchard Beach, and summer nights were filled with city noises instead of coquis, and Puerto Rico was just some paradise that we only saw in pictures. What does it mean to live in between? What does it take to realize that being Boricua is a state of mind, a state of heart, a state of soul? Mira mi cara puertorriqueña, a mi pelo vivo, a mis manos morenas. Mira mi corazón que se llena de orgullo y dime que no soy boricua. No nací en Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico nació en mí. Gracias.
Y ahora con ustedes, una muchacha extraordinaria. Y tengo que decirle esto en español porque tú sabes que estamos en Puerto Rico, es un pedacito de Puerto Rico aquí, y tengo que tirar los jíbaros, tú sabes, lo de nosotros, ¿no?
Thank you.
Caridad, la bruja de la luz. Charity of life in English.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Mariposa. And Angel. Mariposa is a recipient of the Letras Boricuas, which is, I mean, to win that grant, you know she's tremendous. I know you knew it already, but just so you know that she is a recipient of the Letras Boricuas grant in 2022. Major.
Ave Maria.
And also a professor at Lehman College. That's right. So not only is she a prolific writer, but she is a teacher, which is so important. My mother is a teacher. I came from, you know, a teaching household, and teachers are up there with doctors. You know what I mean?
They don't get paid enough.
They don't get paid enough, and they're raising the youth. And Angel Rodriguez Sr., who is a producer, a curator, a performer, a writer, a father, a leader. We all worked together at the Point in Hunts Point, came up as activists there, community organizers. We traveled to Poland together.
We spent 5 weeks in Poland.
Yes, we did.
To get the Navy out of Vieques.
I had long hair.
Fought to get the Navy out of
I had long hair.
Vieques. Fought for the political prisoners, the release of the political prisoners. So this activism, this artistry, this heart goes deep. So another round of applause.
Thank you.
For my
Thank
comrades.
You. Thank you. Los amo mucho. I love you. I love you.
So I started my career reciting in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe in 1996. So I strongly believe in the power of the open mic. So I just want to check and see, is anybody here interested in reciting something or saying something on the microphone before we continue with the program?
1, 2, 3,
I see people.
4. I see.
We're not gonna force anybody, but
Espérate, you gotta get the
say it now.
And I see.
Anyone interested? We have one.
Era como Mickey Mouse. And I see
One.
Alba. And I see Maria. Dale
One.
para allá.
Okay. One. Okay. That's good. One is good. Okay, so before
A couple of maybes. I see
couple of maybes. You're like popcorn kernels. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
You're in the heat. You know, some people pop first. It sometimes take a little while, and then some of you just wind up real crunchy at the end and don't say nothing, but you're still tasty. You're still tasty.
I love that metaphor. Oh, love it, love it, love it.
So, before we get into a most important poem, we're gonna do this song off of my Brujalicious album. Very, very short little part. Boricua, Boricua. And what it says is, don't let them hold you down. Boricua, stay strong. So, Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. 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 Este brujo que tengo, yo sé quién me lo echó, pero le pido al cielo que lo perdone Dios. Sigo andando sin miedo, con fuego en mi corazón. Boricua, Boricua, hey, no te deje agarrar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. Si te sientes malo, siéntate a realizar. La naturaleza te puede salvar. Esos grandes poderes te van a sanar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. 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 Boricua, Boricua, hey, no te deje agarrar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. Yo soy el hijo de Legua, yo trabajo con Ogún. Yo soy el hijo de Legua, yo trabajo con Ochun. Yo soy el negrito Paco Cham, Chambele, Chambele, te pongo a tus pies. Chambele, 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 Chambele. Si estás buscando la fe, si quieres la salvación, yo trabajo con lo bueno, yo te lleno con amor. Boricua, Boricua, no te deje agarrar. 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 So this monument that you see behind us was erected because of Hurricane Maria. And within the monument is a poem written by one of, if not the most important poet out of Puerto Rico and Latin America, Julia de Burgos.
Y ya mi un lodo, y ya mi un lodo, o lodo si un ba bala de soro, chum, cuidado.
And the poem is called Farewell from Welfare Island, aka My Cry into the World. It was the poem that she wrote in English knowing that she was going to die. She is the foundation of Nuyorican poetry. the goddess, the godmother of Nuyorican poetry. And this is the poem that you can see in the artwork. Look at this honeybee. It has to come from here. Right this instance. My cry into the world. The past is only a shadow emerging from nowhere. Life was somewhere forgotten and sought refuge in depths of tears and sorrows. Over this vast empire of solitude and darkness, of despair, where is the form of beauty, unshaken in its veil, simple and pure? Where is the warmth of heaven, pouring its dreams of love in broken spirits? It has to be from here, right this instance. My cry into the world, my cry that is no more mine, but hers and his forever. The comrades of my silence, the phantoms of my grave. It has to be from here, forgotten but unshaken, among comrades of silence, deep into Welfare Island. My farewell to the world. We bid farewell recently to a freedom fighter of Puerto Rico, and her name was Dilcia Pagan.
We love you, Dilcia.
And I want to speak her name because I know her spirit is here. We had invited young Lord Mickey Melendez to speak. He was not able to join us today, so he sent these words, and he said on the passing of Dilcia that she spent 20 years in jail so we could continue to be proud Puerto Ricans. If you know your history, no one can lie to you. If you know your history, you live a life of passion and purpose in the way that Dilcia lived hers. Que viva! Que viva Dilcia! Que viva Julia de Burgos! Que viva! Que viva Puerto Rico! Que viva! So before we end our program, as I said, we would open up the microphone. We have one proud, brave Boricua. Show some love. For Alba.
Alba, la criolla.
Alba Delia Hernandez.
Hola, I'm Alba Delia Hernandez, and I'm going to read a poem that's titled, I'm caught a little bit off guard, so I have like my heart beating a lot, but that's good. That's always good. All right. Japao. When I was 10, someone who was not Puerto Rican and who I hadn't seen in years asked me to say these words in Spanish. Rice, car, dog. I answered, ajo, cajo, pejo. He sighed heavily and asked me to repeat after him. Arroz, arroz. Carro, carro. Perro, perro. When I got home, I told mommy what he asked me to say, and she said, dile a tu pai que se vaya pa'l carajo, ese fucking come mierda. So if you even question how I speak my R's in Spanish, then you are a come shit. Esos reyes de no me impresionan nada. Y tú no tienes que decirme cómo yo debo de hablar. Y hasta más, no te atrevas a corregirme porque te llevo arrastrado, mamau. El que diga que los boricuas no sabemos hablar. Las opiniones racistas no las quiero ni regalado. Yo rescato a mis R's de la tortura, de lenguas sin revolución, que roncan cuando se necesita rabia y reverdía. My R's, I gush a breath that shoots up from my heart palate and hits the back of my throat and screeches its way out of my wide open mouth. My R's are raspao. It is comfort, like asking mommy to make me una cremita viejo, and she tells me, rapidito te lo hago. A mí me gusta arroz con habichuela. Jáscame, papi, que me pica. Mami, ¿cuándo viene Raúl por ahí? My tongue can move in many ways, but I prefer it when I say it. Lo prefiero cuando lo digo raspao.
Vaya, Alba, la escritora. Okay,
Gracias, Alba. Delia Hernandez. And so I ask again, if another popcorn kernel popped and want to come up here and share some words. Anyone else?
Elijah Matos.
Elijah Matos, please come to the microphone.
This one makes sense? Okay.
But lift it up so it's close to you.
Sí, sí, porque tú eres alto, mijo.
Yeah, ahí está. Yep, make sure it's nice and close.
How we doing? Can everybody hear me okay?
Woo!
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Elijah David Matos. Is Brooklyn in the house today?
Yo!
Brooklyn showed up, thankfully. I am a former but also forever student of Mariposa. I'm so grateful to see her and to be here with all of you today. If I can make one selfish request, the matriarchs are going to be mad at me if we don't get this recorded, so if someone could record this and send it my way so that way they can see it, I would appreciate it, or else I'm going to get yelled at when I get home. But this poem was one that I wrote in Mariposa's Afro-Latina literature course back in City College in 2021, deep in the pandemic. See how I stand up. And it is, if I have a signature poem, it is this one. You know, one of the things that I've been realizing, and I think part of me knew even back then, was that Puerto Rico is not just a place, not just an island, it's not just a physical space, it's a place that we brought over here. Puerto Rico vive en Nueva York, in Chicago, in Florida, and as long as we are still here, Puerto Rico is still alive.
Hello.
So this poem is a dedication not only to New York City, but also to Puerto Rico, and it's called Home. Dear New York City, namely the notorious BK, thank you for loud bottle-slamming neighbors and walls too thin to scream, for new Starbucks-laden street corners and giant mutant rats carrying shoe buffles up park gates, for the geriatric R train crawling into crowded stations, for iconic bubbling pizza feeding the familia for cheap, burning our mouths while we catch cheese, dripping between plates and tongues, for showtime performers, dodging heads while they dance, peddling for a few cents, for a hole in the wall and castle-like churches, murderous traffic and infinite restaurants I'll never try. For Buddy's burrito stuffed tacos, surfish bien maduros, the grilled jerk salmon burning just right, and our cuisine where my best friends and I stuff ourselves after church. For hosting my first date and witnessing my heartbreak. For 917-6 646, and most of all, 718. For sunset, bum set, or gun set. For hip-hop running each avenue and salsa illuminating cross streets. For Spider-Man who inspired this Puerto Rican Brooklynite to climb walls too high. For light that reflects off the Manhattan skyline when you look to your left on the BQE, hitting the East River at a gorgeous 15-degree angle. For the Brooklyn Bridge and the tourists we elbow to walk across. For letting me travel through the Owl's Head to Shore Road where I laughed and I cried and I prayed, and if the path was clear, where I put on concerts for an audience of one, and if it wasn't, where I begged God to move me another step because, Lord, 10,000 plus of those first thing in the morning is exhausting. For Lázaro, my local miracle worker who turns these crooked edges into straight lines twice or 3 times a month while I sit in the barber's chair, half asleep. For dreams I've lived, dreams I've written, and dreams I've forgotten. For Harlem, where siblings CC and Y and Columbia stand. For the barrio, where my grandmother rests her head every evening. For Alicia Keys and Jay-Z, who are damn right about your lights and streets. For letting me find my tribe, for letting me find questions, for helping me find answers. Thank you, NYC. Dear Boriquén, Puerto Rico, Isla de Encanto, shining star of the Caribbean, and your people's hearts. Thank you for helada de parcha at my favorite ice cream shop, for pan de agua flakes, for the tropical rain aroma and baguano in the caves de Camoy, for all your best dishes, crumbling mofongo, steaming arroz grandule, crispy cuerito pernil, soothing pollo guisao, crunchy totones con mayo ketchup, greasy chuleta dripping hair mango, cherry top piña colada, punch you in the mouth coquito, sing song, summer piragua, ay que rico. For lilo, 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 a Boricua take on Cela. For the Coquis carols beyond la Navidad. For Mar Chiquita, whose tia embrace nearly drowned me. For pinchos on Crash Boat Beach. Where else could I eat shark on a stick? Para los taínos y los africanos. For calls to Santa Maria, Madre de Dios, even Huracán Maria responded with a slap. For 2 thin stray dogs earning our frowns with unkempt fur. For montañas I refuse to drive on. For street lights that never turn on. For surviving blackouts and blacking out La Bonita Bandera. For parrowing fincas and Jibaro poetry. For holding my scattered family's lives, their remains, their laughter, their tears, and their hopes. Thank you for letting us leave you behind. Helping us exhale when Nueva York is too much. Helping us remember who we are. Helping us hear the unbroken cries of our ancestors in the rhythm of congas and the movement of bomba. I love you now more than ever. Now that abuelita rests in your ancient fertile soil. Now that café con leche is among my morning priorities. Now that I found who I am. Thank you, Boriquén. Thank you both. You are my people, my family, my legacy, my fortress, my lighthouse, my heart, my lament and praise song, my home. Bendición y Dios te bendiga.
That was awesome.
You did that. You did that. And it was captured. What better day, what better way? So again, I ask the audience if you have a poem inside of you that you would like to recite, please come forward. Maribel? Show some love for Ariana Rivera.
Hi, thank you. My name is Ariana. I wrote this poem a while ago. It was when I was applying for specialized high schools and I realized I was the only Puerto Rican girl there. And it frustrated me, but I learned to put that into an acceptance and a love for who I am. So it's called The Color of My Skin. Why must the color of my skin be like a cage? Something that holds me back from ever amounting to anything. Something that prevents me from achieving. Why must it dictate so much? My education, my career, the college I attend, all dictated by something so simple. Why must it matter? I was always told to be proud of my heritage, yet how can I do this when my heritage is being discriminated against? How can I be proud of something that makes me lower than the rest? Why must my gender make me less valid than you? A social injustice I thought we put an end to over 50 years ago. But I get it. The whole double negative thing. I'm a Puerto Rican woman and that somehow makes me less of a person. Even though I was told we're all equal. Why am I a statistic, a number on a chart? Because if where I go to school has a reputation of having uneducated people of color, somehow I become one of them since obviously we're all the same. I have a name, you know. Why am I still fighting a war that I thought was already won? When we decided that men and women were equal, I guess they forgot to mention that people of color were left out of the equation. Why must I have to break a glass ceiling to have my name recognized in a world full of people that just don't pay attention? Why? I don't understand. Someone enlighten me, and if not, let me get this through your heads. I am not a number, another statistic on a chart, another stereotype. I am proud to say that I am an intelligent, creative Puerto Rican woman who plans to make a difference, and when I do, you best believe you'll know my name. Thank you.
I got a story. You want me to tell a story after that? I got a nice story.
Please show some love for Maribel Vázquez.
Maribel! ¿Quiere música, mami?
¿Música? It's okay. ¿Sí o no?
Resistencia.
¡Que viva Borique! ¡Que viva! So I can't say that I was born on the island. I'm from the Bronx. How many Bronx people are here? Woo! Puerto Rican from the Bronx. And I want to share a poem that talks a little bit about that. It's called Where I'm From. And it was written under a prompt that Mariposa gave some years back when I attended one of her workshops. So here goes. Where I'm from. Where I'm from is called the Bronx. Grandma and I walked down Beck Street as parents and children approached the school from all directions. This was the routine from Monday through Friday. And Saturday was clean house day. And in the evening, Mom, Grandma, and I would sit in front of the TV and watch The Blob, an Attack of the 50-Foot Woman on Cheetah Theater. Sunday was church day. Wear your Sunday best. Sunday school was on, and we needed the Bible to face a new week. Gloria a Dios, aleluya, Cristo vive, was shouted and sung and repeated because Christ won salvation for our soul. He came to make us whole. Where I'm from, the first time I heard people refer to God as a woman, it sounded strange, but I liked it. Where I'm from, we went to church Tuesday nights. And Mom on Thursday nights. And then we all be back on Sunday. Where I'm from, I sang in English at school and in Spanish at church. Where I'm from, I did not speak Spanish, but Mom taught me to read it and write it. Where I'm from, we lived on Fox Street. And sometimes in late afternoons and evenings, in wintertime, you hear the yelling through the building, pots and pans banging, stand up the heat, coño que me friso en este condenado building. Mi pobre mamá orando decía, ay Jehová, ten misericordia de nosotros. Y Dios le oyó porque nos mudamos y nos fuimos de Fox Street. Where I'm from, I heard boleros de los trios at home from my dad. And in church we sang, and on the street we sang. Cristo rompe las cadenas y yo tengo un gozo en mi alma. Where I'm from, I heard the Jackson 5 sing ABC, and I learned that the world is a big ball of confusion, and that's why we needed Jesus. Thank you.
That was great. That was awesome.
For some time, my family lived on Fox Street too, Abuelita, and we always would be like, Abuelita, what's the street called? Fox. Fox. And that was the one way. That's how we got her to say a bad word without her knowing it.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
So. So Angel wanted to tell a story really quickly.
Yeah, we almost done with this.
Okay. You want accompaniment or you telling a story?
Well, I'm going to tell a story.
Okay.
It fucks me. Anyway, and this is really short. It's about glue, right? And back in 1994, we established the Point CDC. We're going on 30 years this year. And 96, we opened up for 30 years. We opened up for a service, and our first office manager was a gay man by the name of Julio Cruz. Now, Julio, he was a Vietnam veteran, administrative capacity with the Army veteran, and he came into our office and he taught us how to manage an office. He was just an amazing, amazing man. Unfortunately, he died de SIDA, and when he was dying and he was in the hospital, he asked all of us to get there to see him for the last time. And of course, you know, we went and some of us are crying and leaving the room. I stayed next to him and he says to me, Angel, you're the glue of the Point. And after all these years of holding on to that statement and that, because, you know, it wasn't about Angel, it wasn't about me. It was about the music and doing these concerts that I do free to the public and giving tribute to people that are still alive. And the glue is the music that brings all this community together. The glue is this commemoration, Nuyorican Poets Cafe, your glue, your glue, your glue. We are all the glue of our community. And without this, and como vamos a hacerlo? How are we going to continue? So you're an activist, you're a poet, you're a painter. What if you sweep the floors? If bien rápido, yo mapeo con más proyectos de trapos empapados en quimpán. Yo paleo nieve, tierra y mierda con palas de goma y metal. Yo te bajo un piso con escobachas de paja. Yo soy carpintero y con martillo serrucho te hago tu casa. Si la quieres de cemento, yo le pongo varilla dentro y te hago una torta para el techo de tu hogar. Yo soy el hombre de tu edificio, el que se para en la puerta y te lleva todos los pisos en el elevador. Y también, y por ahí para abajo, that's about a 10-minute piece. But that's my message to you, man. Keep the glue cohesive, keep us cohesive as a community. And thank you, Caridad de la Luz, for inviting me today. Power to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. It's going to become beautiful. 2026 is going to be a beautiful building. So, all right. Thank you. Me voy porque voy a llorar.
No llore. O llore, que llore. Okay. So, this poem is if Puerto Rico could speak, what I think she would say. Puerto Rico me llaman. I am Puerto Rico. That is what you call me. Yo me llamo Puerto Rico. If you came from me, you will go from me. You will come to me. You will grow from me. Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Africa, Spain, Taíno, Madre del Jibarito, defended por Albizu, I've made many sacrificios. A mí misma me critico. I have taught all of my people to turn the other cheek though. I've been a refuge politico to the French, the Dutch, the Spanish, the English, the Catholics, the soldiers, the tourists. I've treated everyone as equal, and now there is a war against all Puerto Rico. We are fighting an elusive creature that owns me as its paraíso. ¿Cómo me explico? ¿A qué me califico? ¿Por qué me mortifico? I am not poor, but rico. We were offered fool's gold while they robbed us of a sharehold. While nacionalistas foretold the takeover of control, we danced and fell into the American mold. We warmed ourselves with tropical memories while facing the American cold. But what is untold, we will expose. There are no more cheeks to turn. Though the hypocrisy has left us holding two faces, we've been slapped with debt we didn't earn. Told to strap up our boots, but left without shoelaces. Not welcome in one, but living in two places. Between here and there is no place for me. Oh, say, this rape culture, oh, say, can you see? It is always to victim blame, so the truth you won't see. And they've asked me how I let it go this far. Beneath the shirt off my back that I gave are the scars. This patriotic love of one flag, this promised freedom of one star, while there's 50 United States, and I don't want to be one more. My children since birth have been treated as whores, and what was mine, but mistaken as yours. Collectors of foreign sectors are banging down my door. The first mass exodus was in the 50s. We're witnessing the sequel, and it's sickening. If you ask me right now what it is that I am thinking, I'm holding my people up to stop them from sinking. They would see the richness of my power if they started interlinking, and the colonial mindset would start collectively shrinking. So stand up, my children. We will always be connected por el cordón umbilical maternal, por el ombligo, with my mangoes and my mangroves. Yo los purifico, los huracanes de Yocahu, yo los pacifico, y las riquezas de Atabey, yo los multiplico. If you came from me, you will go from me. You will come to me. You will grow from me. Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. We are not poor, but rico. We are not yours, but equal. Que viva Puerto Rico! Once again, Mariposa, stand up, please. Angel Rodriguez, a round of applause for all the poets that graced this microphone. A round of applause for Battery Park City Authority for inviting the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And my comrades in poetry, in life, in friendship, in family, we love you, I love you. Remember that this monument is here. We've awakened it. We've activated it. We are here together. We will never forget. And any parting words? I love you.